Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamalov. Good morning, all. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Interesting week last week. Market came pretty much almost all the way back, except if you happen to be up Friday morning, VIX was trading almost 30, and the world was about to end, literally as we know it. S&Ps were down 100. People were fearful, and you wake up the next morning and everything is fine and we're back to the same shenanigans. And it was funny, I was watching this morning, I don't know if you saw, they had a huge heist at the Louvre where they literally broke into the Louvre in 7 minutes and stole like the most crown jewels in the history of crown jewels. And they got away with it. And the first thing that popped into my mind was Jane Street. Robbing the market on a daily basis. The same characters. They're actually legally stealing. It's unbelievable. I was actually this morning for my entity. I was trying to buy some VIX futures, VIX, VXX, and UVXY, some VIX products, just because I think we're not done with the down move at all, and people are very, very complacent. It's weird. We went Zulu wild off of one down day, and VIX went from, and we had it, so we were happy, and we got out of it. We still hold a little, and now we're rebuying it, but it was insane. I mean, the market was down 80 basis points, and VIX was up 35% on the day. So, and then VIX went from 23 to 30 overnight on a 100-point down move. So, when this correction is coming, which I think it's coming sooner rather than later, you want to have some VIX because it's underowned, and these maniacs keep selling it like it's a free annuity. So be very, very careful out there. But it's funny, like when they robbed that Louvre, I was like, okay, that's like what happens to every trader on a daily basis in the stock market for
You know,
billions of billions.
you talk about Jane Street and Citadel so much. I could see you testifying in front of the Senate or some congressional meeting.
They don't want to hear it. Listen, they've
It would be
they've
amazing
tried that.
for me.
Nobody wants to hear it. As long as the market is rallying and everyone's making money and everything is good, nobody wants to hear it. It's interesting. I was talking
By
to
the way, this
someone.
chart. I'm sorry, but just this chart you were talking about the VIX. I pulled this up, and you mentioned the VIX going up like 30%. Have you ever seen, like, this is the VIX in the top panel? Have you ever seen the VIX go up that much with such a small muted drop in the S&P? In the
Um,
S&P
I
fell
would
maybe.
answer. I would answer the question yes. I would say I have not, maybe as much, but I've seen a 2% down move double the price of VIX, literally in a day, on a 2 or 3% down move. So
Mhm.
yes, and what ends up happening is it's like a coiled spring, and everybody, like, listen, these models and these kids that are trading, they just sell VIX every day, literally every day, because it's a decaying product that's an annuity until it's not. And what I think is interesting about it is why it went up. Like, usually when I've seen the VIX go up more than this on a move like this, maybe this is one of the biggest, relative to the move, which was zero. We're like less than 1% from an all-time high. Nasdaq's right there, and the VIX was sky high, and it got to 30 overnight. I mean, it was bid, and if
Yep.
we came in lower, it would have gone to like 35. It would have gone to some crazy number. I think it's because everybody's short this thing. They still remain shorted. They still are selling it on a daily. Like, even look at VIX today. It's down again, and we're up, like, the Nasdaq's up 60 bips, 50 bips. I mean, it's a nothing move. It's a nothing move.
Do you follow the VVIX at all? The volatility on volatility?
No.
That hasn't come in much. Like here's the chart of the VVIX, and I think the reason the VIX went up so much relative to the downside in the S&P may have something to do with the VVIX, the optionality on optionality.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really follow that part of it, but I'm re-entering a long VIX position here. I like it. I don't think there's a lot of downside. I just think there's so much uncertainty, and like you were saying this morning, that Zion Bank is back up a little or whatever. I mean, these banks are, to be honest with you, and you can say what you want, are toast. They are toast. Like, it's interesting. I'm getting stuff in my inbox. I don't even know how these people have my email. They're like, do you want $500,000 for your business? We could give you a low interest loan. Do you need this? Do you need, that? How much money do you need? I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of lending that's going on out there to almost anybody who has a social security number. And I think the loans have been extremely aggressive. And I think that,
They
these
have.
loans are not going to be paid back. They're just not going to be paid back. And, I think for these smaller regional banks, it accounts for a very significant part of what they're doing. And you look at Jefferies and you said, oh, Jefferies is up again. To me, Jefferies is the culprit of all culprits in this whole thing because they're a good firm. And it's funny, I traded with Jeffries in 1984. Okay. Boyd Jeffries was the guy. He was like a cowboy from the Midwest or whatever. And they were out in San Fran, and they were the first company to ever have aftermarket trading. So they invented aftermarket trading. At what happened before, at 4 o'clock, the market was closed. You had to go home with your positions. And then we were like, oh, call Jeffries. They'll make you a market. And they would make a market, after the market closed. It wouldn't last to 8 o'clock like it does now. And now at IB, you could trade all night and Robinhood. But back then, they were the sole player in the game. And then Boyd Jeffries got in a lot, no one even knows this. He got in a lot of trouble for doing illegal stuff. And the firm was literally, he had to leave the firm, and the firm was on the verge of being closed down. And they saved it. And then Jeffries is now fairly big in investment banking, taking a lot of undue risk. And a lot of these firms are underwriting deals that they kind of know are not going to be good. And I think there's a ton of deals out there, both pre-public and mergers and acquisition type deals that are priced wrong. So I think Jeffries has a lot more problems than meets the eye. But again, this is just about trading, and we're trading the day, so we want to make sure everybody is okay. But to me, I'm actually going to look to short some Jeffries here. I mean, it's come down a lot from 70 to 50, but I think it's in trouble. I think it's got issues. Again, I'm not saying it's going to go bankrupt. That I don't know, but I know that they're overexposed to this deal market, this middle market deal market. They're not Goldman Sachs. They're not Morgan Stanley. They're, they're not JP Morgan. Okay. They're a second tier firm. That's a good firm. Don't get me wrong, but they're taking on deals that maybe other people wouldn't take on. So I'm a little worried about that. And then I'm worried about the regional banks in general giving either personal loans to a bunch of people and small business loans that are never going to be paid back. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I should show it on the air. I mean, you want 250,000 for your business, you want $500,000, we could give it to you in less than one day. Like, they don't even know anything about my business. They just see it out there. And I think it's pretty scary overall, um, that they're you know giving these loans. So I think that that's really the next phase of this, that looks a little scary, but somehow, as of this morning, even this morning, the market looked a little skittish when I woke up, and then bid, through the morning. So we'll see, and meanwhile, Nvidia can't rally. The one that I don't understand, Eric, is Amazon Web Services, which hosts Starbucks and all these other, like Starbucks is completely down as a company right now. Like if the Starbucks outside my office, they can't take a mobile order. Okay. The lines, what is
I
that?
got my coffee. I
I
got my
know. You
coffee.
had to probably walk into the store. Um,
I
I
had to use
mean,
a credit card. I couldn't use the app, but
right. I'm just saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. So, how is Amazon not affected when Amazon Web
you know
Hosting
everybody's
Services is
addicted to
down?
coffee. They're going to get their coffee regardless of whether the app works or not. The addiction is higher than.
What does that have to do with Amazon Web Services? Amazon Web Services hosts zillions of different places, and the stock's higher. Doesn't even matter. I don't. I mean, it makes sense because it makes the least sense. That's how the market works. If it makes sense, do the opposite. That's the market.
Bank
So
on
anyway,
crazy. Bank
last
on
week,
crazy continues.
what was it?
Banking on crazy continues. I thought the banking on crazy trade would end as the summer ended, but it's still here.
Yeah, but the market hasn't done anything. You're like banking on crazy. Like if you bought the market a month and a half ago, you're freaking down money or flat. You're not up money. Nothing has happened. Like,
Correct.
and you were about a minute away from getting incinerated. That somehow they saved it. But like banking on crazy, a crazy of what? Like I'm not understanding what the crazy is.
Well, the
you know.
crazy is just reacting to headlines. And by the way, I pulled up this chart. This is the we've been talking about this. This is the Goldman Sachs BDC Company Index. It's an index of private lending. We've been kind of flagging this all of September. This thing has been falling and kind of hinting that maybe something was brewing. So we've been on top of that. But you look at the high yield spread, and it's still a little elevated, down a little bit. But you look at it on a 1 year chart, as you can see here. It's pretty much you take out the April um, Liberation Day move, and it's pretty much at its average. So, I mean, the spreads are kind of saying maybe there's not much, not much fireworks to be.
What are you looking at? HYG?
No, I'm looking at it's. I could text you the index.
There,
It's the
I
Goldman.
understand it's garbage trading in that. Like I used to trade a lot of HYG. It just doesn't move. Like literally, if you think there's a problem in high yield or a problem in regionals or a problem wherever, your best bet is just to buy pure VIX. It gives you the best reaction. And what's great about VIX is there is an internal short in the market, especially short dated VIX. There's an internal short that's there every single day. And, I saw it during COVID. There was a firm that I started with these guys, Stafford, a guy named John Stafford, one of the best traders on the CBOE for years and years and years. Okay. They had a firm, I can't remember the name, but they had a firm and they were selling VIX, selling VIX, selling VIX, selling VIX. And then COVID hit. And guess what happened to them? A guy's 45-year career was wiped out in literally less than 2 days. He couldn't put up any more money. He kept putting up money to fund the positions, fund the positions. He couldn't put up any money. At the dead low, they liquidated the guy out. They shut the firm. And I got to get the name. I forgot. But if you look it up, it's Stafford and Company, John Stafford. It's his son. And they blew out of business in VIX, shorting VIX. But you know how much money they made before that? They never lost until they lost it all. So that's the problem, in VIX. Inherently, they're sellers. I mean, I started buying a little this morning, not a lot, a little. they're just selling me everything. I mean, like that we're fine on a $10 move in Nasdaq. Literally, like Nasdaq's up 110 and then it goes up 120 and they're smashing VIX. Like I don't understand. Something's got to give here. And the bottom line is, I mean, I don't. I listen. I don't understand this. Okay, Trump said that Hamas has to disarm. And if they don't disarm, they're going to wipe them out. Well, they didn't disarm, and nothing has happened. Okay, and there's been
I'm glad you mentioned nothing has happened. I put up this article. I thought it was fascinating about Trump, and you're saying that Trump says stuff and then nothing happens. This is exactly what this article is talking about. It's an amazing thing. An analysis of over 300 markets on Polymarket found that betting against Trump taking action would have resulted in a 12% return, pretty much matching the market, while consistently betting yes, meaning Trump will do something, would have cost you 20% of your money. So the back test
I
on
think the
Tyler,
odds are even. I get that. I think the odds are even higher. He doesn't ever do anything about anything. It's actually amazing. It's
yeah.
actually it's actually amazing, to be honest with you. It's actually an amazing thing watching him operate. It's so fake that it. Oh, well, why are they letting Hamas not disarm? Like I heard they were shooting in the Middle East again. So I don't know. I mean, why if they agreed to disarm, are they not disarming? That's why is he not doing anything? Like that's what I don't understand. What's he going to come out tomorrow and go, "We're going to kill you, man"? I mean, come on. It's a clown show with this guy. Besson's walking around saying, "Oh, you can't put 100% tariff on." I mean, come on. It's actually insane. I mean, literally, you don't find this to be insane crazy? I
Well,
mean,
I mean, I find it, kind of normal because we're used to Trump. We saw him operate in his
well, then
first term.
why? Let me ask you
What
this:
I
Were you
what I
time
find
out?
fascinating, what I
Time
find
out.
fascinating is that betting on Polymarket against what Trump is saying that he'll do has basically given you a market return, which tells me like
Should be a lot
basically
better than that. Why is it a market return? It's got to be way better than that. I
it's
mean,
basically a market return. And that just tells me he's just basically the market is Trump.
no, I think you get way better. Okay, let me ask you this. We looked at Polymarket a week and a half ago after he said he was putting 100% tariff in. It was 90% against him putting the tariff in. Okay, so what is that telling you? That's telling you there's no chance he's doing it. So I don't know how you're betting that or how they're accounting for that, but literally to zero, the chance of him doing anything is zero. He's a zero. He's fake. But I mean, that's why these countries haven't come to the table to do one deal. There's no one. Even the people that were rushing in to do the deals walked away. I mean, he can't follow through with anything. It's actually a bizarre scenario with this clown. Literally bizarre scenario. And when I say clown, I mean clown. I mean, under the surface, his meaning is good, but why can't he act? Let me ask you this. I mean, this is more political, but listen, we were selling Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. Why are we not selling them Tomahawk missiles right now? Like, we make money on it. It's great because he thinks, he's best friends with Vladimir Putin. It's a crazy thing. You sell them Tomahawks, it changes the complexion of what's going on in the war, and it levels the playing field. But he'll taco out, and he'll meet Putin, say they had an amazing meeting when nothing happens. I mean, Putin's been getting away with this for so long. I mean, you don't agree that he's getting away with it? Like, we hold the cards. The United States holds the cards, and I don't know why we're not putting the screws to anybody to do anything. And listen, Hamas is just one thing. There's many, many things, but why are we not disarming Hamas? I don't understand. We said we were going to do it. What are we waiting for? I'm just saying. So these are the things that, okay, so he's not going to put 100% tariffs on. The market is right back to where he said he was putting the tariffs on, right? Pretty much. So obviously it's in the market. And the thing is, the market doesn't believe one thing he's saying. So, but if it's good, they believe it. It's very interesting. Very interesting Monday morning how firm the market is, and I'm not understanding why, especially after Friday. And the funny thing is that
The market's
we
not going to go down until tech earnings come out.
oh,
If they're bad,
stop, dude. I'm shutting you down.
But
I'm shutting you
that's the
down.
MO of earnings season every single quarter. They're
Okay,
not.
dude.
It's not going to
Okay,
make a real move until tech comes
dude.
out.
I will promise you the market is going to move. Okay, way before tech or way before whatever one earnings you're looking at. Okay, the market's going to move off of inherent headlines. The market's going to move off of geopolitical. The market's going to move off a number of things. What? We're waiting for Google and that's going to blow the market up? I mean, come on, dude. Literally, there's so much AI froth put into this market that it's epic. I know they're right. They're gonna know. Hey, wait, the guy, what's his name? The fraud Sam Altman. He's like, wakes up this morning. He's like, who haven't we done a deal with? Let's do a deal with another company and blah blah. They have 500 deals. I mean, with nothing going on. It's all good, dude. Trust me. It's the market can be bought when the market's like this, but when the market's like it was last Friday and into even last week where we had, I mean, there was really good trading last week. Really good trading. I mean, Tuesday was good. Wednesday
Was
was
it?
really good. I mean, really good trading. You know, um, there's been really, really good trading out there. You know,
So
so
much for the gold reversal. It's right back up. Had a little weakness overnight, but right back up. What do you think about gold here?
I'm short it, and
Almost back up to its highs.
I'm shorting it through options, and I'm shorting more today. That's what I think of gold. I think it's absolutely at a level that is ridiculous. But listen, you're like Mister. It's funny. I did my Ask Me Anything show on Friday, which you don't. It's just me solo answering questions from subscribers, and I appreciate everybody writing in. But there were a couple of questions on gold, which we should do on our show, and I'm like, listen. I'm not. I'll let you answer it because they're like, well, why is gold going up? What are they looking at? And I'm like, I have zero idea.
They're
I
not
don't know.
looking at it in a
Right.
normal
But
environment.
that is where there's a problem in the market. That
No, it's
when they
not
look
in.
at nothing, then there's a problem in the market. There's no fundamental reason that gold is going up. It's
When
going
I
up.
say nothing, hold on. When I say nothing, I mean stuff like interest rate moves dictating what gold does, the dollar dictating what gold does. That went out the window when central banks just
So then
started
why?
buying.
How did you know gold? Well, this is the question. Gold reversed on Friday. Didn't close amazing. Okay. The day before was down 150 points off the high. Okay. Had volatility and some weird action. And then you come in Monday morning and it's the same trade. They tried to take it down. Okay. It
Yeah,
was only plus 20 on the day, which is still crazy. And these moves are you're at the end of something in my mind from my 40 years of trading plus. Okay. When you have excess volatility, okay, and moves that are exponentially more than what we've seen in the past. So, what I mean by that is gold went from 2,000 to basically 4,000. And I'm telling you, you can go back on your little chart there and you can pull it up. We didn't have a 100-point up day or an 80-point up day in the whole thing. This is all occurring in the last 2 weeks of where we're having outsized 1.5% and 2% moves. So when that happens to me, it it looks to me like potentially that we're topping out and there's a seed change. Okay. So look at gold, even from the beginning of the year. It's just up every day. It was up 40, it was up 30, it was up 20. It was never up 100. I mean, you could go back, Thomas, can you pull how many 100-point up closes we've had this year? I'll bet you until like a week ago, there were none or five. So it was a controlled, rigged up move. Now you have a rally extension where this is all this is all public. You can see you can see it in GLD. Yeah, what I don't understand is they're getting incinerated. They got incinerated. Let's talk about crypto. They got incinerated in crypto. Okay. There was massive buying above 120 in crypto, especially these altcoins. And then crypto got down to like 105. People were freaking out. And you said everyone got liquidated, a million people or something. I don't know. So I see the same thing in gold. The action to me looks not great. I mean, I know it keeps going up and up and up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see down 150, 200 in a day. It would not surprise me. I think the volatility is up. I'm not saying today is whatever. Today's the same thing in the stock market. Like I thought today, we would have an up opening, settle down, settle on the lows, and then we got, crush volatility coming. But again, you come in and, the 20-point up day in S&P is the difference between people freaking out, panicking, and being like, oh, I can go, to my regular job today and the market will be up. So, that's what I'm seeing here. Bonds broke 4% here on the 10-year.
By the way,
Um,
just a just a word about gold. The implied vol on gold on the futures is about 27, which implies a normal move of about 1 and 2/3% daily swing. So that's about 70 points. So you're saying 100 points is like a crazy move. It's not that crazy,
well, I'm
given.
asking I'm asking my guy behind me to tell me how many up 100-point days we've had this year, and I'll bet you it's not many, if at any. This has been a contrived, rigged up. Okay, 50 points, 40 points, 30 points. I don't know how many hundred. I can't remember 100
Yeah,
in
I
a
don't know
day.
about the rigged story with gold, dude.
But I'm
Um,
just, dude, I know you're bullish gold, whatever. I got it. It's fine. You're bullish. You don't have a real reason, but you're bullish. It doesn't matter whether the dollar gets weak, whether bonds are strong or weak. It doesn't matter whether, the market's up or down. It was funny. They threw this thing in last week a little bit in gold. It was up because the market came off, but then they realized the market was up on the week. So they stopped printing that headline. So whatever. It's in the phase of it's up. There's not a lot of reason it's up. But listen, to me, I keep warning it. I'm going to continue to warn it. If you're up money, I would minimally take some profits. I would use stops and I would be very careful. And I would think that, listen, the market is very interesting. I don't know if you feel this way, but I do. So I'm driving to work, spoos are up 10 handles. It looks like it's going to go red. I'm like, holy cow, if this thing goes red this morning, meaning down, market's going to be a little skittish and it's not going to be certain trading. Then the market goes from up 10 to up 22. And then everyone's like, okay, it's fine. We're not going to sell off on a 10 handle move in spoos. But they forgot, and I don't think you were here um, on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. I mean, Thomas can tell you behind me, dude, they they put an embargo on cooking oil and the market, and literally the market we couldn't find a bid in the Nasdaq. I mean, literally. I'm like, Thomas, where the hell is this thing? He's like, blah blah blah. So anyway, there's only been 6 closes in gold of up more than 1.5%, Eric. The thing is up 70% for the year. 70. 70. Wouldn't you think
okay.
that a 70% move in a something that you'd have a lot of days that were up 2%? There's been 6 days that were up 1.5%. And I'll bet you, how many are up 2? I'll bet you there's only like 3 that were up 2. This is gold, 2%. This is crazy. This is a controlled, rigged market. That's all I'm going to say. Controlled rig. I know no one believes it. Controlled rig. Why don't we have an up 5? I mean, I've traded gold
This
many
is
times
this,
where it's moved
this is
3,
what
4%
happens at the
in a day.
beginning. This is what happens at the beginning of a secular move that
Okay,
lasts years.
it's already been 3 years, and it's already up
Not
over 100,
three. It's been about two. Two
120%.
happened when it broke above 2,000.
But you're not
That's what.
giving me any reason why. That's the thing. Okay. Like in stocks, you can give,
What reason do
oh,
you want? Why do you need
earnings,
reason to be?
AI.
They're now calling it the debasement trade, and that trade is on.
But what,
And
timeout. The
you know,
debasement.
well, hold up. From a portfolio perspective, just step back. Okay, the way the market is looking at this, they're looking at products that are going to diversify their return stream to the market. Right? You look at gold over the last 25 years. Has there been a better diversifier of stock returns than gold? Not over the last year or two. Over the last
Eric,
25 years,
Eric, no,
there has.
I think gold stinks. Okay, I think
I know
gold
you do.
since gold was at 800 in 1982. Okay, it's up basically 400%. The S&P's up 6,000%. Okay, I don't know. Obviously, it's done better than oil, but up into the last 2 years, it literally only doubled in 35 years. I mean, come on, dude. And it doesn't pay interest and you have to hold it. Okay. Even if you buy GLD. So whatever. I mean, it's in a bull phase. There's no one to sell it. It's just running wild. It is
I go back to another metric from the year 2000 to about 2012. That's a 12-year stretch. Gold went up almost 600% while the market didn't do anything. Right,
Dude, I have no listen.
six hundred
I
percent.
gold has been the if you ask anybody in the financial market until a year ago, gold's been the worst investment anyone could have ever made. And they actually, do you want to hear what I think is funny about this whole thing? They've taken gold. They literally had it out of the waiting. They're like, you don't need gold. Why do you need gold in your portfolio? We had a question someone asked on Friday that they're being recommended by their advisor to have 20% of their position in gold.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Dalio's coming out now and saying that.
So
I
what?
mean,
Dalio's been wrong on every trade over the last 5 years and got kicked out of his own company. Come on. Hey, let's call a spade a spade. The guy hasn't been right in minimum five
I think
years, maybe
Bridgewater's
more.
doing pretty well this year. I think
I
Bridgewater's doing pretty well this year.
Great. He's not in Bridgewater, Eric. He's out of the company. Out of the company. Maybe that's why. He has nothing to do with Bridgewater. Why are you laughing? He's out of the company.
Because it's
You
funny.
didn't know that? He doesn't have anything to do
I
with
know,
Bridgewater.
I know.
So then
But
why are you saying Bridgewater's doing well?
they,
What does that have to do with him?
you don't think he's involved at all with no
No,
decision?
zero. He's been bought out. I know people that work there. They needed him out so bad. He's been wrong for the last 5 years. Okay. In everything. Now, my question to you is gold has gone up a gazillion percent, whatever number you just said. And now money managers and asset allocators are saying you need 20% of your money in gold. What does that tell you? I mean, didn't they miss the boat? No?
They missed the boat, but it's interesting. I did some research on fund flows this weekend, and I came into that exercise looking for reversion on big inflows, right? So all these fund managers that you're talking about, they're going to drive these fund. They have driven fund flows higher. I look back at history, you would think after like 6 big consecutive days of inflows, like we had over the last week and a half, there would be some reversion. Statistically, you don't see that at all. What you do
Eric,
see is
there's
actually
no,
drift continuing higher. To answer
this
your
is a
question,
completely
yeah,
different
they're late
market.
to the punch. They're late, but that doesn't mean just because they're late that this is going to cause a big reversal in
Dude,
gold.
I cannot listen. There are two things I cannot wait for. Okay. The first, You talk about dollar debasement or whatever you're making up, some BS that's now like AI.
More
Okay, wait,
the
time out. If dollar debasement has to do with the dollar, why is the dollar not doing worse? The dollar hasn't moved. The dollar is actually stronger against all currencies in the last 3 weeks. Stronger against every currency. So
what
where do you
about
get
this year?
dollar debasement? like,
What about
I'm
this year? Well, it's
Yeah,
not
this
just the
year,
dollar. It's
it's the
all
dollar
yeah.
is higher right now than it was 6 months ago. Okay, 6 months ago. Where was gold 6 months ago? Hey, where was gold 6 months ago? And then go to the dollar index. Go overlay the dollar
Yeah,
index
the
against that.
dollar's
Now,
been flat.
you
It
just
hasn't
said
done anything.
before,
Well, why?
timeout. You just said before that the dollar, okay, was the reason, dollar debasement. Now let's
I
pull
didn't
it up.
say. I didn't
It has
say.
nothing
Well,
to do with that.
okay,
It has
whatever, dude.
it has zero to do
Keep
with that.
keep keep trying to pair gold with the dollar. Keep trying to pair gold with interest rates. It's that trade has been gone for 2 years.
But you just said dollar debasement. That is basically the devaluation of the
No,
US dollar.
I said that's what they're calling the trade now, JP Morgan. I'm not even looking
Okay,
when
I'm just saying, but you're
I
saying
don't
that
even
gold.
look at the dollar anymore. Just FYI, I don't even look at the
Well, what do
dollar
you
related.
look at? What do you look at? What tomorrow? Okay, today's over. Gold
The long
timeout.
only
Today is
overlay.
over. Timeout. Today is over. Gold goes out wherever it goes out. What are you looking at tomorrow? Well, how do you know gold's going up or down? You have zero idea. You have no clues to whether gold is going up or down other than the computer's buying it. Okay. And then the computer got out so fast the other day that it was unbelievable and it knocked it down 150 points. So I don't know. I think gold
Number
is
one
at a
performing
top
asset
or
this
near a
year.
top. There is no fundamental reason, unless the stock market becomes fully unhinged, that gold should be at these levels. But whatever.
Ah, you bring up a great point. Unhinged market will drive up gold even more. If you're a bear on the market,
No,
I
but you
always
want to know what, Eric? Gold
I
was
wonder
going
about this whole
down.
year.
Time out.
Hold up.
Gold was going down when the market was going down. That's what's weird. Over the last week and a half, while you were on vacation, gold was going down when the market was going down. It was almost
You
like
just
a
said it.
risk off
You just
trade.
said it. If the market, you just said it. If the market is going to go down, then gold should go up.
Dude,
So
I'm
I've been
going,
wondering
listen,
here
I'm
why
going
you're
to
shorting
say
gold.
gold is a 10-star short right here, right now. You think it's going, where's it going? 5,000. Dude, why don't you go 10,000 or 20,000 or
Hey
50,000
man,
like
keep
you did
on.
in Bitcoin? Bitcoin's going to 250,000. Dude, you're going to
By the
be
way,
lucky. You're going to be
people are
lucky
thinking.
on the next correction. You're going to be lucky on the next correction if Bitcoin's over 100,000. That is what I will tell you. It is overowned. Everyone owns. Let me ask you this. Bitcoin's gone from $50 or $10 to $100,000. It's the most amazing rise of any asset class. And I don't even know if you call it an asset class. Okay. But it's been the most amazing rise. Okay. Nobody had this thing until it was 50,000, 60,000, and most retail public didn't even have it till it was 100,000. Okay, till their money managers were able to buy ETFs. So my question is, do you think Bitcoin is overowned? I mean, people are owning it that don't even know what they're owning. And now people are told by their money manager they need to buy gold. I go to dinner with a bunch of my buddies who are very smart and they're buying the crap out of gold here. I don't know. Did they buy gold at 2,000, 1,000, 1,500, 2,500, 3,000? Of course not. So in the annals of trading time, these trades never work. Now, I'm not saying they can't work for today or whatever, but they don't work. I mean, if everybody's long something, why should it go up? That's the market we're in. The
The
market
trend.
shouldn't go up. The trend. Okay. No.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I'm gonna bring it up again, dude. I'm gonna bring it up again. From 2000 to 2012, it went up almost 600%. So when it went up 100% on the first leg up, you could have said the same thing, and then it goes up
Eric,
200%.
listen to me.
Everybody gets,
Bitcoin,
and
you're
it goes up
looking at it wrong.
300%.
You can't at this point look at percentages. Okay, you cannot look at percentages. Let me ask you a question. When Bitcoin was $3, Was it easy to double Bitcoin to make it go to six? Oh
Yes.
yeah, it was real easy to do that. They could do that in an hour of one day. Okay. When you have a commodity that went from
Exactly. It's a
1800, time out.
commodity.
Can you let me talk, please? Okay, thank you. When you have a commodity that goes from 1800 to 4000, okay, I don't know why you're shaking your head. For this to go from 4000 to 8000 is just a doubling, okay? It can't do that. It's too high priced. It's the same thing in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 110,000 to get to 200,000 doesn't even give you the move that it did in a week back in 2015. So that's the problem that people have here when you're buying assets at very high prices. And I'm telling you, and this is just my opinion, the market is frothy, the market is scary, and every asset class is basically, other than oil, is going up. And it's just going up because they're buying it. Like gold, there should be a natural seller of gold, but there isn't. You know who's going to sell gold? The guys that robbed the
You.
Louvre. No, the guys that robbed the Louvre, they're going to melt down all that gold and sell it in the market. I mean,
That's
it's whatever. But anyway, we're going off tangent. Obviously, gold's up. I think if it makes half the move, I will add to my short position. If it doesn't,
mhm.
I won't. Bonds are 3.99 on the 10-year. Basically, the market has shifted to the fact that the Fed is going to do whatever. And even if they do, I think bonds at 3.99, unless we're in a recession, which is very probable once this data starts to come out. And I think we see the CPI later in the week. And even if the number is strong, the rumblings are they don't care. The Fed doesn't care. I don't know what. Let me ask you a question. When have you ever seen the Fed in a panic to cut rates with the market at an all time high? Like, why do they need to cut rates? I'm just trying to understand it. What's the reason?
Are you calling a recession coming?
Yeah, I think we may be in one. That's just my opinion. I think numbers are going to be. Listen, this government's been shut down now for 4 weeks. I mean, and this could be the longest shutdown in history. I don't see an end in sight at all. I mean, Trump doesn't care, and certainly the Democrats don't care. And I don't know how it has no effect on anything. I mean, isn't government spending a huge part of what we have going on here? I think I think the markets are utterly complacent. I would say this in S&Ps, when the S&P's up 30, everybody's okay. They don't have to make a move. When the S&P's up 10 or negative on the day, people are about to freak out. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know if you were looking at prices, but Thomas behind us could tell us the prices of puts that were 10% out of the money for 2 and 3 days out were bid to the moon in crazy size. Okay. So I don't know what happened to that. A hundred handle spoon move solved that problem, but the 6,200 puts with the index at 6,600 were $5, $6 for 2 days out. I mean, that's a 10% move. So when I see that, it leads me to believe that people were in trouble. I mean, now they're not. Now everything's fine. But people were certainly in. I don't know if you saw that, but people were in trouble. They were buying any put they could get their
I
hands
saw
on.
I saw it, but I also saw this. I'm going to pull up another chart. All throughout this little period of volatility that we had, the trade that really matters in the market and is ultimately going to either make or break it is the AI trade. And the Nasdaq, even while the VIX was going up, amazingly, the Nasdaq was outperforming the S&P. So the
Dude,
AI
the
trade is
Nasdaq
still
traded
intact.
down the.
Nobody's getting out, and it's outperforming the S&P. So I don't think the market is ready to completely collapse here.
Okay, then you should go out and sell some puts, dude. Do yourself a favor. We'll see how well you do, dude. You're only looking at the market for the minute. If we were down 50 handles right now, you'd be freaking out, saying,
What minute? I'm looking back a whole full week and a half while the VIX is going up. Why hasn't the Nasdaq underperformed? because they're
Why?
not ready
Because
to give up
the
on the AI
Nasdaq
trade.
underperforming has zero to do with whether the market's
What are
going
you
to
talking
collapse.
about? That's the entire AI trade that
So
hasn't.
what? The AI trade could hold up and the market could come in. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying what's going to happen, and the AI trade could fall after the market falls. There's a million different
Yeah, but
probabilities of what could
credit,
happen.
private equity, credit, real estate stocks have
Eric,
all been down.
you know
So
what?
the
Listen,
market is selling back.
I'm wrapping. Let's get to the market. I don't want to. This is crazy. The AI, dude, they can incinerate the AI trade in one afternoon. You were not here. Okay, you were on vacation for two of the craziest days that you could have. Okay, so you didn't see it. I mean, you might have seen it when you look back in a chart, but you certainly didn't live it when the guy behind me was calling me. uh, I mean, Thomas, tell him every 2 seconds. It was insane. I was in a meeting. Oh, we're crashing. We're crashing. We're crashing. I mean, come on. I mean, they could turn that on a dime. They could turn that this afternoon. It could turn off of a headline. It could turn off of anything. The bottom line is the market. Where's the VIX? Is it still 19? Like, I'm sure the VIX is like 19 or 20. I mean, yeah, it's still
By the
20.
way, we had a speaking of
Okay,
the
time out. Why is the VIX? Hold on a second. I just want to, and we're going to end with this. Every other time the market has made an all time high, you know where the VIX was? 14, 13, all year long. Why is the VIX 20 on a massive downtick? Why? I'm just, if you can answer that, then we're good. If you think we're out of the woods, the greatest sale on the board is VIX, right? You think we're going up. You think AI is intact. Why is VIX at 20?
I actually don't. Yeah, I actually don't think if the market is going to go up that the VIX is the best short here. I don't think that. I think
Well, what is
there's
then? What is?
stuff in there that like I showed the VVIX earlier. I think the
I'm
market.
not, dude. The market cannot sustain an all-time high with a VIX at 20. It has never happened and never will. That I could tell you. It will never happen and never will. So there is definitely uncertainty in the market. The VIX is at 20 on a downtick. I wouldn't short this with your money because if we open up today and turn negative, this whole thing is going to spin upside down. So that I could tell you. So there's something wrong. That's all I'm pointing out to our subscribers and our viewers here that the market generally generally is at a low of the move when and the lower the move in VIX when the market is on the high. And the Nasdaq, which is up 750 points from the low 2 days ago, and overnight low, it's up almost 1,000 points, which is 4%. It's up like 3.5% off the low of Friday. Okay, 3.5%, and somehow VIX is still 20. So, which is great for trading, and I'm happy about that. So, I would say, you know, keep an eye on that. I'm a buyer of VIX here. I just think any kind of hiccup is going to get this VIX through the high, and and people were not there on Friday morning at 4 in the morning because we were there. Okay. And I think you traded it. It was scary, dude. It was scary. Okay. So we went from scary on Friday morning to Monday morning being bid to the moon. So that scares me. And if we were good, VIX would be 16, 17. So I think there's more to come. They're buying the market like crazy this morning. I don't know why. I don't know what's up. It must be the gold move.
Yeah, all the high beta stuff is up. All the high beta
I
stuff
don't
is
know.
up.
Where's Nvidia? I'm long that. I'm trying to sell it. I think it's down, dude. But it
Yeah,
maybe it's up
flat.
slightly.
When I say high beta, I'm talking about stuff like quantum computing. You
Oh,
talk about a
that
bubble. You talk about a bubble where I do see extremely, extremely overbought levels that are prone for a big drawdown is in the quantum computing space.
Why, dude? It's the next
And I've
great.
been
It's
seeing
the
that.
next great thing, dude.
Yeah, but
AI is unbelievable.
yeah,
It's funny. They're starting to realize in Oracle that they can't make money buying Nvidia chips. Okay, so how can any of these other companies make money buying overpriced Nvidia chips? Don't you think they got to look for other options of other chips to buy other than overpriced Nvidia chips? I mean, In look, the market's a percent from its all-time high, and Nvidia is $15 off its high of the move. Okay, it's almost, on Friday it got down over 10% from the high. So what is that? A correction? So Nvidia is $2-3 from being in a correction. Okay, which is you. I don't think you can argue that Nvidia is the top AI company in the world, right? Highest priced. Okay, why is that acting so poorly if AI is so good? You
I
know,
don't know. Maybe it's a hedge against the trade talks disintegrating. As soon as the one thing that I shorted, as soon as as soon as Trump uh, announced 100% tariffs 2 Fridays ago, it was Nvidia. So I just bought puts there because I felt like if those talks would disintegrate, that would be the spot where China would attack.
I understand, but stock is still up 70% for the year. I don't understand. If it's so bad and whatever, why is the stock up 70% if they disintegrated the talks? But anyway, listen, we're close to the opening. Hopefully, people got stuff here today. I'm shorting gold. Tomorrow, you're going to explain to me when it's down today why it went down or what it did. When you listen, I'll
But
leave
what if it's
everybody
not
with.
down? Are you going to explain why it's not down
Can I
and why it's up?
explain something to you? I'm going to explain something to you. When you look at markets, okay, and you cannot have one reason why it's up in a especially overowned market, okay, it makes it very, very scary. So that's all I'm saying. You
I've been
can't
giving
tell
you
me,
reasons the whole podcast. I've been giving you reasons since it broke out of 2000.
okay,
Uh,
dude,
I've been
whatever.
giving you
Listen,
reasons for the last 2 years.
dude, whatever your reasons were, whenever they were, what are your reasons right now? Okay. What are the reasons right now? You're telling people on here that it's going to keep going up, and I'm telling you it's going down. Okay. That's
Okay.
all from these
All
levels. And right
right.
now, it's up 65. It was up 70. Now it's up 65, and you think it's going up. I think the action looks
I
weird.
don't think it's. I mean, yeah, you could trade it. Listen, trading and long-term investing are two different things. If you want to short it for a 50-point move, good luck. Maybe you'll get that move. But where do you think it goes next? What do you think the chance? What's the bigger probability of it hitting 5,000 or it hitting 3,000 first?
3,000. I think everybody's long it. So that's how I'm playing it. I would only do it with options, which is what we're doing. So, and the funny thing is, it's up 60, but really 35 points happened after the close. So it's really only up 35 from where it was Friday. So if we get down below that, it could get interesting. But anyway, we're close to the opening. I'm going to wish everybody a great trading day. Since we've been on the podcast, the market's gone straight up. I'm not exactly sure why everybody is okay, but remember where we were. What was the low on Friday night on S&P? I mean, futures were incinerated on Friday night. They were down 100,
65.71.
65.72, and now we're 100 points higher and everybody's dancing. Okay, so we'll see. Anyway, I wish everyone luck and enjoy the trading day. Peace.